right. We are back on the food code. It is Monday, August 30th. I probably have had a baby by now.
I hope you have.
I really hope I have. I am ready for this child. She is kicking like crazy right now. She always kicks when we podcast. I don't know why.
She gets excited.
She was really aggressive last night. I was kind of upset. I was like, and Nick obviously wants to like feel her move. But when he puts his hand on my stomach, I think it like pushes her down sometimes. And I'm getting real legit lightning crotch where I'm just like, I kept like wincing. And he was like, is it uncomfortable? I was like, yes, it is very uncomfortable at this point.
Remember that reel that I sent you the other day?
Yes.
Like all of the cute pregnant things that like people usually post on Instagram versus real life as it goes. And I have such baby fever right now that I'm like, that's going to be me. And I'm going to be in your shoes in a year from now.
Listen, I will say my first pregnancy was a breeze. Carson was amazing. As a babe, inside of me, like no real issues, everything. I felt amazing. This one has been like, holy moly, you are destroying my body from the inside. I'm so excited to have you out of me to meet you, but also to like get you out of my body because it has been horrible. But I'm trying to be very positive because it could be worse. It could always be worse. I'm starting to develop varicose veins. Like it's insane. Anyways, okay. We are doing a podcast on what we eat in a day, which I was kind of hesitant to do because I don't love like showing what we eat in a day, saying that like this is what you should eat. But I think it will be helpful for people to understand like Liz and I practice what we preach. We eat differently than each other. We both have our own struggles that we're going to talk through. So like we wanted to talk through what we consider when we eat more so than like exactly what we eat. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Well, especially because this is going to change in different seasons. Like,
and obviously we don't eat the same thing every day.
Right. And by the time this podcast airs, I'm going to be 3 weeks in a cut because we're getting ready for vacation in September.
And I'm postpartum.
And you're postpartum. So this is going to look very different. But even in a maintenance phase for me, really it's just the volume and the overall intake that changes. Like I still build my meals mostly one ingredient whole foods. And so that's what we want to kind of like share with you in like the way that we think about our day and how we kind of evaluate putting meals together. And it depends on what that day also looks like in terms of training, in terms of our schedules, in terms of the season that we're in. But the biggest thing, and this is what we talk a lot about with our clients, first and foremost, is I think about how am I going to get the most nourishment in? And if I want to balance my day in terms of protein, carbs, and fats, then I do consider that as I'm building my meals. Like, if I have a higher carb dinner planned, then I'm going to go lower carb for lunch.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things that I think has helped me with tracking is realizing how to kind of play with the numbers a little bit. And what foods mean what, for fats. Like I was looking this morning, perfect example. I was looking as I was prepping my food to come over to Liz's and I had like, I've been giving my husband leftovers because then I at least can control what he eats. That sounds so horrible. But otherwise he'll like, I talked to him on Friday and I was like, what did you eat today for lunch? And he was like, I got pizza from the cafeteria at work. And I was like, oh my God, like we had leftovers. Why don't you bring the leftovers? And so what I look at is this morning, I was like, okay, I have chicken and I have a veggie cake in the freezer. Perfect. I'm going to throw that in there. I have some sweet potato fries in the freezer, throw those in there. And then I had some crackers with deli turkey because that's been like a craving. And then I had my protein bar. I have
Your same breakfast.
I have my eggs with usually a piece of toast or like some oatmeal. So I kept seeing, I was like, I have a lot of protein and I have a lot of carbs. I don't have a lot of fats here. And so I was like, and tonight for dinner, we're having pork chops with, I think we're doing corn on the cob and like a mushroom. We got fresh corn on the cob from a farm nearby. It's gonna be so good. And then mushroom, onion, saute. So like, again, protein, carbs. And so I'm trying to think like, where can I add fats to my day? Because I'm missing them a lot right now. My breakfast had eggs, but that was about it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to grab half an avocado. I'm going to grab, instead of an apple for a snack, I use full fat yogurt. Perfect. I'm going to do the full fat yogurt instead. So like I mentally evaluate. And that's something, if I'm having a salad at dinner, that's like avocado, bacon, dressing, like stuff like that, that's going to be a low carb, high fat. And so then my lunch, I try to make a little bit lower fat, higher carb. And that's what Liz and I think about when we put together our days so that things kind of balance out.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, Becca and I get into our like routines and we get into,
For sure.
our ruts with things, because certain things are just super, super easy for us, especially when we're on calls and we only have 20 or 30 minutes, which we're usually trying to wrap up emails, talk about, content podcasting that we're going to be doing, and then eating lunch at the same time. So like, I don't have time to be making a lunch. And so I try to think about, when I plan my dinners for the week, how is that going to transfer over for an easy lunch? Mm-hmm. If it doesn't transfer over for an easy lunch because my husband loves it and eats 3 servings of it, then I know that I always, I love you, Art, and he's listening to our podcast because he edits them. But it's true. Like when I made the veggie lasagna.
Listen, Art is he's a big guy with muscles and tall. Mm-hmm. Like he needs a lot of food.
He needs to be eating more than he currently eats.
He probably does. He eats like just the sandwich. And I'm like, I hope you have another meal other than that. Cause like it's a hefty sandwich, but.
So we were just talking about this the other day because one, he's been coming home with loaves of Panera bread for his sandwiches.
It's so great. He comes home every day that I'm here with a loaf from Panera.
Because he loves making, especially in the summertime like when French it's hot outside,
yep.
He loves making a sandwich, and he'll put like different deli meat and he'll put tomatoes and stuff like that. And then he just eats the greens out of the
just shoves a handful of spinach in his mouth, raw spinach.
Hey, you know what? He's getting his micronutrients, so I'm fine. But if I made, like last week, I made a lasagna, high protein lasagna, and I blended in some different veggies that we had from the garden, because right now we're like zucchini and squash and tomatoes out of our ears from my mother-in-law's garden, and she's gone all of August, so I have to go take care of her garden, which means I'm gonna have more vegetables.
I'll start figuring out how to use zucchini more.
Okay, because I'm like, I don't know what to do with all of this, but anyways, the point here was that he loved it, and it wasn't a huge thing of lasagna because I didn't have enough noodles, so I put it in a smaller container, and so that really only got me 1 leftover instead of like 2 that sometimes I like to plan for those things. And so just looking at my dinners, I do try to think about that. How can this become an easy lunch? If it doesn't become an easy lunch, or it's gone, then what I always have on hand as a backup is some sort of bag salad kit. Always have sweet potato fries in the freezer. And then all I really need is, my protein. And so I try to have 2 proteins that are on hand at all times that I could pick from, because sometimes I'll be honest, like I don't want shredded chicken for lunch again. Totally. Maybe I want pork chops, or I want ground turkey, or doing like more of like a taco bowl. So I try to think about that too. And then I think about like, how can I make it easy from a meal prep perspective to kind of batch cook some of this?
Yes. So I always cook big dinners on Sunday or Monday night. Like,
so you have something.
Yeah, those are usually like, we made an 8-pound pork shoulder on Sunday, and I was like trying to decide what night to put the carnitas on, and I was like, I'm going to put it Sunday, because not only do I have the time to like get it in the slow cooker that morning, but then I'll have a ton of carnita meat for the rest of the week if I don't have anything else, because I was running out of chicken. I totally didn't buy enough at the grocery store. I already have a list of like 5 things. This was a horrible week for my ability to pick the right things from the grocery store. And so I always make a bigger dinner Sunday or Monday night, so I know I have leftovers for the next couple of days.
Yeah. So, and then our breakfast, I usually rotate the same things. Like I will either do a couple of eggs. One of my favorites, you guys probably see me post this on Instagram if you follow me. One of my favorites is fresh basil, sun-dried tomatoes, and then a little bit of like either feta, or sometimes if we have made like a Mexican style dish, I'll use the cojita cheese.
Yep.
Throw that in there, and then I have a side of some sort of either like gluten-free toast. Maybe I'll put avocado in there. Sometimes I'll do the kashi, the cinnamon waffles. I just found those a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Really like them with the cinnamon first form nut butter. So I just kind of like rotate through some of those things if I'm not doing like an egg bake or overnight oats. Like I go on different kicks.
Yeah, mornings I keep the most consistent of all, because it's usually very quick for me. Like it's like, what can I make in 10 minutes? Because I'm dropping Carson off from daycare. I get home and I have to get on calls in 30 minutes. And so it's almost always some variation of eggs. I did smoothies for a little while, but I just like, smoothies are such a mess to me. Like I hate cleaning the blender and like having all the ingredients. I don't know. And so I usually do like 2 eggs, some egg whites, a little bit of shredded cheese in there. And then I will either do just scrambled eggs, and I'll do half like fruit and a piece of toast. So I'll either do berries, peaches, whatever's in season. And then a piece of toast with either avocado on it or nut butter. And sometimes I'll do an open face sandwich with that piece of toast. Like on Sunday mornings when I'm super busy, and I have Carson and I don't want to like sit in the kitchen and cook a bunch, I'll just scramble up eggs really fast and then I put a piece of toast in the toaster. And I actually put like deli turkey on it too this week to add some extra protein. Otherwise, if I'm not doing toast and fruit, I do oatmeal or I do a Kodiak muffin or something like that paired with the eggs. So it's some type of carb with the eggs. Liz and I usually work out in the morning. So I time my food too around my workout. I know tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm actually going to be working out at 8 or 8:30, which I don't normally do. So I will have similar morning, but now I'm going to be pushing my breakfast back till after my workout. I don't like working out on food in my stomach. And so I will have a larger breakfast if my body allows it right now, but I will have a larger breakfast because of that. And if I work out in the afternoon, which I very rarely do, I usually push I do more snacks in the morning and then push like meals to after that. And I try not to work out later than like noon, 1, maybe 2 o'clock, because I don't want to wait too long to have a meal, but I just don't feel good having a lot of food in my stomach when I work out. So I push things back. So what I eat also depends on when I work out. I usually have my more carb dense meal after my workout in the morning and then in the evening before bed.
I'm the same way because I work out in the morning 4 days a week. And so usually what I will do if I don't have something before my workout. So sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't. And I just kind of listen to my hunger cues in the morning. Like, do I feel good today? Like I don't need anything. Other days I wake up and I'm really, really hungry. So I'll do like a rice cake or half a protein bar or a piece of toast or something like that. Go to the gym, hit my workout, then I come home. And that's where I try to have a carb dense breakfast. So I always say like 2-to-1 carb protein ratio is kind of my goal in that meal. Then I'll go a little bit lighter with carbs at lunchtime and then heavier again at dinner time to support sleep.
Carbs also make me really tired if I eat too many at lunch. I'm just like, I don't think I have major blood sugar issues, but like if I have like a carb dense meal at lunch, like a big sandwich or something like that, I get sleepy.
Yeah. I do my sweet potato fries sometimes at lunch, but I can't do like rice or bread, other things like that. I get the same way. I just get tired. So, and then, I mean, this is going to shift and adjust, right? Like when I'm in a cut phase, it's going to look a lot more like leaner meats, shrimp, chicken, more egg whites than I've been doing because we've been doing duck eggs and then regular eggs. And I'm
small meals more frequently when I'm in a cut, just because I don't want to like get super hungry.
Yeah. And I will try to juice a little bit more, do a little bit more smoothies. I'm the same way as you.
I totally bought that from Jewel. I forgot that's in my fridge.
What?
I bought Nick saw this. It's like it's a red juice. Jewel has fresh juices.
Okay.
And it was beet, carrot, and orange.
Okay.
And I was like, and it's 180 calories for the whole bottle, but I'm not going to drink the whole bottle in one sitting. I do like 4, maybe 5 servings for me. And so that's like 30 to 50 calories a day, but it's not bad. And Nick saw it. He's like, what is this? And I was like, it's beet, orange, and carrot juice. And he was like, okay. And he just put it back in the fridge. But
like, for you in the season that you're in right now, especially,
I cannot get calories in.
Being pregnant, right? And you want the nutrients.
Totally.
You want the nourishment.
Totally.
So again, this will change and this will kind of adjust. And then again, talking about like our schedules, like we try to do our best to block things out. But if I know that I have calls until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, my breakfast will be a little bit more dense. And then I'll have my protein bar a little bit later, somewhere around like the 11 o'clock time frame. And then my afternoon snack, like my lunch is like around 2:30. And then my afternoon snack is a little bit lighter because I've just had that lunch late.
And Liz and I look at our schedule and like, we will tell each other, like, when do you have time to eat? Like, we will call each other out and be like, you are literally booked back to back. What meeting can I take so that you can go eat something? Because we know we do not have the same mental sharpness. We do not have the same stamina to get through a day if I have not eaten anything. And we talk to clients all the time that are like, I just got to 1 p.m. and I realized I hadn't eaten yet today. That is not something that we are okay with for our clients or for ourselves. And so every week, I live by my calendar. Like I look at my calendar. When do I have time to work out? Do I have any big openings so that I can eat something? If I don't have big openings, I need to make sure I have easy snacks on hand that I can literally go run to my kitchen in between calls, grab, or if you're at work, bring with you to work so that you can eat like quick, a half an apple slices right before a meeting or something like that. So be prepared for that stuff. Like that is something that I will not negotiate. I have to have time in my day to eat, and I plan out those times so that I don't go too long without eating. And then we also look like in a week, what do we have going on? And I plan for that as well. So I usually plan 1 to 2, like a little bit more fun dinners for the week, like Sunday nights I like to do. I usually Friday nights, sometimes Monday nights, so I don't have as much going on. And so I try to plan more fun dinners. And then the rest of the week usually I think like, will I have time to cook or not? Do I want to put in effort? Like by Thursday night, 0 effort is wanted to put towards dinner. So Wednesday night, we have the live every night until 8 p.m. And so like, I usually do some type of a salad Wednesday night to where all I need Nick to do while I'm on the live is, watch Carson and then grill or something. And so I try to have that in mind. And then what do I have a taste for? That's always, I don't really commit my dinners to a specific night. I try to have a couple different like varieties of flavors so that I can be like, what do we feel like eating tonight?
Yeah. And I think that's a really great thing that you brought up, because I know part of what a lot of people struggle with, including ourselves, is that we get into the rut, right? With the same like recipes that we find that we really like. For me, I'm going to say like my skinny pad thai or chicken enchiladas, things like that. But I had to call myself on it and be like, okay, we've had this for like 3 or 4 weeks, in a row, even though it is on rotation. Like, how can I get other cuisines in here? And so in order to kind of keep more of a variety of foods, because we always talk about we want to have a diverse diet, I think about what's in season, what can I get fresh at the farmer's market, and then what can I do with these ingredients? So Pinterest is a great place. Last night, we had leftover shrimp cocktail from our gym closing party. We had some peaches that one of our clients brought over for us. And I had squash and zucchini from the garden. And I was like, okay, what can I do with this? All I did was literally Pinterest shrimp and peach salad, grilled peach salad and shrimp. And it was fantastic. And then I looked in my fridge and I was like, okay, I've got onions here. I've got some sugar snap peas. Like, I can throw these things on and add them to the salad as well. So I'll be honest. I've said this before. I'm not great at snacking on raw veggies. Like, I always buy the baby carrots, and I had to just stop doing it because Art's like, you never eat these. Why do you keep buying them?
God, there's some sitting in my fridge right now. That's one of my struggles. We're going to talk about our struggles next. I waste food.
Yeah.
I've gotten better. But there's definitely, every week I go through my fridge before I like put groceries back away or like go to get groceries, and I'm like, fuck, I'm throwing out like multiple things because baby carrots are one of them. I always am like, I'll grab them as a snack. I never grab them as a snack. I never do.
Sometimes you do, but it's very rare.
It's very rare. Very.
And I think, when I'm at the grocery store, it sounds good in the moment, or I'm like, oh, I'll have this with guacamole, or I'll have this with hummus. And then for some reason that gets pushed to the like back of the refrigerator and I forget that I have it.
Yep.
I'm like, gosh, I need to stop doing that. But the one thing that I will say that I will dip raw veggies in is that spinach and kale dip that I get from Trader Joe's.
I actually thought about yesterday, like, you know what I'm excited to do? I'm excited to take my newborn to Trader Joe's on a random day when I'm like on maternity leave and don't have anything to do all day, and it's a newborn. So like, you just whatever, bring them anywhere because they sleep or, whatever all day. And our Trader Joe's is like 20 minutes away.
But you want to get out of the house.
I know. I want to get out of the house. God, newborn life I'm ready, but whoa. Okay. So some struggles that Liz and I have, because we definitely have our struggles. Like, those are the big things that and we'll give an example of a day, like an exact example of what we eat in a day at the end of this. But some struggles, I will say Liz and I both struggle with variety. Like, we get in our ruts. I find like we both live by our routines. And so routine just makes things easier. And we're very busy right now. We've been busy for the past like 8 to 12 months. More so than, I would prefer for the rest of our lives. But that's what, growing a business is. And so I really struggle with similar dinners. I've eaten the same breakfast or some level of variation of the same breakfast for probably like 2 years, with very minimal differences there. And so like, I'm pretty good. I've gotten better at variety of fruit. I've been doing that a lot more because Carson loves berries. So I keep berries in the house more often. So I do that more. Been trying to buy seasonal stuff, and just kind of get out of the rut there. But I definitely struggle with getting variety of vegetables for sure. I get vegetables in, but they're the same like 8 to 10 vegetables every week.
Yeah, same here. And honestly, for me, I'm good with like the different veggies and trying to do more in season. I love beets though. Like, I do love a variety of things, but I'll go through times where it's like beets take some time. Like,
yes,
they
do.
They stain your hands, they're a pain to cook or whatever. And then I bought pickled beets once thinking that was going to be easier, and they were absolutely disgusting. So I was like, this is out, and so I tend to fall back on the things that I just know are easy, convenient, that we eat throughout the week. So I am trying right now, just telling Becca this the other day, I struggle with variety of fruits because I always go for berries. And we do buy bananas, but then Marcus, I didn't post this on Instagram, but it was the cutest thing ever. I came home the other day and Marcus loves to pull the chair over and get up to the stove. And Art was standing behind him videoing him. And Marcus had taken 4 bananas out of the peel and he put them in the saucepan. So they were pretending to make banana foster. It was so cute. But besides bananas and berries, I'm like, I need to be adding in more like kiwi, peaches, oranges, stuff like that. So that's one of the things. And then one thing that I've been getting better at is trying to rotate different sources of meat, because my husband gave me some very strong feedback. I am sick of chicken. And I was like, I hear you. I get it. So I'm trying to bring in other sources of protein that we can do besides.
I've been getting better at that too. And I know that you do this as well. I challenge myself to one new recipe every week. So like something I've never made before. It might not be totally off the wall. It's probably similar ingredients, but like this week I'm really excited. I'm doing an avocado balsamic caprese salad with chicken. So like I bought the little mozzarella balls. We have tomatoes, a balsamic glaze, stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that one. But I try to find at least one new recipe. And like those are all foods I've eaten before and I eat like flavors of that, but I try to find one new recipe a week.
Yeah. I think another struggle for me right now is we're so busy that when the weekend hits, that's when I want to be doing other things. You know, with Marcus, I want to be going here, going there. Plus we've just had a lot going on, closing our gym, doing the powerlifting meet, things like that. I've not dedicated any time at all to really meal prepping. And so that's why I've tried to keep things so simple and easy, things that we can just grill throughout the week or I can throw into the Instapot or crock pot. So this is one thing, like sometimes we get it, like you get sick of meal prepping, but again, in specific phases, like the phase that I'm in when this podcast airs, meal prep is going to be crucial because I am also covering Becca's maternity leave. I'm not going to have time to be cooking and doing all these things. I need it to be easy, prepped, easy to track in my FitnessPal because I'll be tracking all the way through as well. And so that's partially where I would say if you're finding that you're getting sick of meal prep, number one is like, then let's simplify. Go down to like 3 to 5 ingredient meals. Maybe you're doing like more stir fries now with a little bit of either cauliflower rice or regular rice and then a source of protein. 3 ingredients, add some, soy sauce, or I love coconut aminos. Doing things like that save me in the weeks that I'm like, I have no chance. Like I want to get the oven on. I want to get the skillet out. Like just really kind of being intentional about having easier dinners. And then I will sometimes use a little bit more processed things. Like I'll use tuna packets. Sometimes I'll use deli meat, egg whites in the carton that I'm not cracking and wasting egg yolks and stuff like that. Cause I spend money on eggs. And that's one thing that I think Becca and I also wanted to talk about is like, sometimes even though we have all of this knowledge and understanding about foods, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it kills me to pay $6 sometimes because we go through eggs like crazy. So I'm spending like $20 on eggs for the week.
Yeah. And this is something that I actually I've realized this particular week because I was looking at our bank account and I see Nick, he stopped at McDonald's after dropping Carson off for coffee and I'm sure a breakfast sandwich or something like that the other day. And then I saw 2 charges from his cafeteria and stuff. And I'm like, okay, although yes, I do not enjoy meal prepping or anything like that, that stuff adds up so fast. And we usually spend, with everything, alcohol included, because my husband loves to have, some beers and some glasses of wine. And when I'm not pregnant, I enjoy stuff like that as well. With all of that included, and, the weeks that paper towels and you have to grab that stuff, we have about $250 to $350 a week that we spend on food. And that includes additional stuff with if I do a Butcher Box or Misfits or stuff like that. And so sure, it's not cheap, but we eat out once a week.
Yeah.
If that.
And that's why Becca and I have limitations that we talked a lot about too in other podcasts. I have a 2 times a week limitation. And I was explaining to a client today, if you are not aware of this, you likely go out way more than you think that you do. And then you become aware of it and you're like, oh dang, the Starbucks, add it up, the Chipotle, add it up, the Panera, little things like that. Because there was a time a couple of months ago, we grabbed Panera a couple weeks in a row for lunch. And I was like, why are we doing that? It's $30 to get lunch from Panera. This is silly.
Nick and I order in Saturday nights. That's our night that we usually put Carson down. We sit on, watch a movie and we get DoorDash or something. he loves wings, which is usually what gets added. But like for the two of us with wings included, it's $75 to like have it delivered. And like I usually get like a chicken wrap and some sweet potato fries. Like it's not even that exciting of a meal. $75 to go out to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm getting every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my child, for my husband, and for I pretty much for $250 to $350 a week. Like I'll take that.
Yeah.
Of high quality food.
Because like if you were to compare that to, so like DoorDash, okay, $75, but let's say you go to dinner, right? And it's you, it's Carson, it's Nick, maybe he has a drink or you have a drink or whatever, that adds up. And plus you're leaving the tip then. So what I have found is like, if we're going to go out to eat, easy $100 between the tip.
Oh, so easy.
You know, and so that's just where, one, I don't love going out to eat multiple times, like especially with a toddler. Like sometimes it's not that enjoyable. Just being honest.
I just bring food from home for him. I'm like, here's a Hawaiian roll and here's some snacks because you ate like 3 bites of those chicken fingers.
Yeah. There's like 2 places we go that I'll get him something, but anywhere else I'm like, you can just have some of mine. Like I'm not. But anyways, I digress. So that's kind of like our limitations. But yeah, if you were to look at your bank account, and Becca and I just had this conversation this morning too, just in terms of Starbucks, like just our coffees. It's like I've really been trying to cut back on that. Like I told our accountant, like I'm not going to Starbucks more than like twice a week. I'm not going to go cold turkey because listen,
2 to 3 times a week I think is my limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, I buy the iced coffee from Starbucks from the store.
Yeah.
And then I get it.
We're also not eating at Starbucks.
No, I always do. And my iced coffee I get is like less than $3. So I feel like at Starbucks, that's not bad.
No. But anywho, let's move on. What other things do we struggle with? I would say here is just, again, continuing to think outside the box. And I'm just going to say it. Pinterest is a great place. Like so many people ask for recipes, meals. And listen, we post on our Instagram. Y'all, if you don't have the Pinterest app, download Pinterest. The way that I search is like easy, healthy
dinner recipes,
weeknight dinners or something like that. Or I search by the ingredient that I want to use. Like, for example, last night, the shrimp and the peaches. I did grilled peaches and shrimp salad. And it popped up. I picked one of them, looked at it. I was like, this looks awesome.
And we usually just take a photo of what we found on Pinterest and post it to our Instagram stories. And then when people ask us for the recipe, you guys just look at what the photo looks like or the name that's on the photo. You'd probably be able to find it on Pinterest real fast.
Yeah, because I save it to my board. I have a healthy eating board or
me too.
paleo board or whatever. And then I could just go back to my profile and grab whatever ingredients that I need off of there. But I also try to, before I'm making my grocery shopping list for the next week, I try to take an evaluation of like, what do we have left over? What ingredients can I use in other things?
I suck at that. That's something I struggle with.
I've been trying to get a lot better at it because that's where I found that I was wasting things. So even if it was something like sour cream or hummus or little things like that, I found that I was wasting like half the container because I wasn't incorporating into, it's very easy. For example, you could do a hummus wrap for lunch, right? Yep. But you could add some chicken, you could add some other vegetables in there. And then I'm not having to eat it with raw veggies because I've determined I'm not good at doing that, even though I think I will do that. So I tried to just kind of incorporate it into other
like a
things.
Bowl or a salad or something like that. Hummus is a great topping or replacement for dressing in a salad. Like so many easy things you can do. So we want to just give a very basic example of a day of what we eat. And this is something that I'll say, like during pregnancy, I've had to kind of track my food again because I know I'm not eating enough. I had no problem consuming all the food with Carson, like zero. I ate so much. And I think I gained way too much towards the end of my pregnancy because I was like, I don't get full. This is amazing. I'm pregnant. I don't feel bloated. I'm just going to keep eating. With this one, I, by the end of the day, like barely can eat dinner. And so for my day so far, I usually wake up and my blood sugar has been really sensitive. So I have to eat very frequently. So I usually wake up and I have like half of a protein bar. And then an hour or two later, I have some pro granola, which I love, Julian Bakery pro granola. And I mix it with like a tiny bit of regular cereal and whole milk, grass-fed whole milk. And then I'm potentially, if I work out, it's before all of that. I usually don't eat before my workout. If I do anything, I might have like a Swedish fish or two, but other than that, nothing. And that's all after my workout usually. And then breakfast around 8:30. I usually do 2 eggs scrambled with egg whites, and I'll do either fruit with a piece of toast or 2 pieces of toast, avocado on there, or peanut butter. Snack is usually other half of the protein bar. I've been doing crackers and deli turkey lately. Lunch is salad kit with chicken or sweet potato fries, chicken, vegetable of some sort, like frozen vegetables, whatever I have in the pantry or the fridge or the freezer, or leftovers. I've been doing a lot more leftovers because I haven't wanted salad kits lately. And then snack in the afternoon is usually either full fat yogurt with a little bit of granola and fruit and peanut butter in it, or an apple with some peanut butter. And then dinner is some protein source, some vegetable source, some starch source, some fat source, like some combination of that. Dinner is where I vary the most. We do different dinners every night of the week. That's just what we found work for us. I like to cook, so I enjoy cooking different dinners each night of the week. We never do leftovers for dinners, so.
Yeah, we don't do leftovers either for dinner.
And then dark chocolate. I always have a piece of dark chocolate at night.
So mine is similar in the morning time after I come home from training at the gym. So usually I have a rice cake with nut butter or a piece of gluten-free toast. I been on this half PB and banana kick this past week. So I'll do a peanut butter toast with a couple slices of banana before I train, go to the gym, I come home, shower, get ready. The kick that I've been on has been the eggs with the basil and the sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit of cheese, and sometimes I'll do avocado with that, and then either gluten-free bread, or I will do those kashi waffles that I was just talking about that I found that I really like. Mid-morning snack, it's always my level 1 bar. I hands down am addicted to the chocolate peanut butter pretzel level 1 bars.
I love pure protein bars or no-cow bars. I've been on the no-cow peanut butter chocolate chip ones lately again.
Yeah. I haven't bought them in a long time. I love the level 1.
They're too expensive though. They're like $2 something per bar.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of limit.
Yeah. Okay. And then lunchtime. So for example, today what I had is the Alexia waffle sweet potato fries, some leftover chicken, leftover shrimp from this last night, and then our gym closing party. And I paired that with a couple slices of tomato, some greens, and an avocado cilantro apple cider vinegar sauce that I made with dinner last night. And this afternoon I will have a Siggy's plant-based yogurt with bakery on Main. I found this company. I actually got this sample of their granola in the Barbella box. So this is really good. It's a white chip raspberry swirl. So you can look that up on Amazon if you're interested, but I'll put that into my yogurt. And then tonight will be some sort of protein. I believe we're doing ground turkey bowls, so we'll probably have some rice because that's easy. I can microwave it. I'll season the ground turkey probably with taco seasoning, and then we always have greens. I have some salsa left over, some crema stuff. So again, a protein source, a fat source, a veggie source, and then some sort of starch as well. So
yeah. So I hope calories wise, right now I'm trying to get to 2,000, which has been really hard for me. I just cannot stomach food. Normally I try to be around 2,200 to 2,400. That's a good spot for me to maintain with my exercise and activity level.
Yeah. So right now I'm 5 days out from the powerlifting meet, and I'm trying to hit 2,200 because I'm trying to get more carbs in. But the day that this airs, I will be in a cut phase, and that's going to be somewhere around 1,650, 1,750.
Yeah, my cut's usually around 1,700 to 1,800. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you guys got some good nuggets of information in there. And again, we just wanted to share this to help you think how we go through our thought process, not eat exactly what we eat. That is not the answer, but understanding what we do when we approach our food.